John Brennan and James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence under President Obama, hitting back at these claims by the Trump administration. Here's some more.
President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
Brennan and Clapper writing in the New York Times that this is, quote, the calculated distortion of intelligence by administration officials, notably Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe. We find it deeply regrettable that the administration continues to perpetuate the fictitious narrative that Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election. So with that, we bring in Fox News Sunday anchor Shannon Bream. Shannon, great to have you with us. You know, it's very interesting how the framing of this discussion has changed over these years, because what we're hearing now from Brennan and the rest is, you know, that it was all about whether or not Russia was making efforts to try to influence the U.S. election. And they say, well, we established that although they may have tried through hacking and leaking, they weren't successful and they didn't change any votes on any election machines. But that is not what this was about. You know, so how are you reading what the narrative that they're trying to put out now compared with what they were saying then?
Yeah, you're exactly right, because just about everybody agrees Russia was trying to do some kind of meddling. So when you go to that point, you're not making a point. I think there's just bipartisan agreement about that. But the conversation has changed about whether there was hacking. We heard people using the word hacking, and whether or not they relied in the intelligence community assessment on things like the Steele dossier. That's what they're still fighting about. In that piece you referenced by Brennan and Clapper today, they say they didn't rely on it and that it's false for people to keep saying that they did. But remember the documents we got just days ago from DNI Tulsi Gabbard. She unveiled what had been under lock and key, an assessment from 2020 from the House Intel Committee. And they have a couple of really interesting things that we pulled. First of all, they said that they contradict the director of the CIA about the use of the dossier. It was referenced in the body of that assessment. It was also in the annex. It also outlines a disagreement that two CIA senior officials had with then Director Brennan. They went to him and said, this thing does not have the hallmarks of meeting what we would ascertain needs to be done for our tradecraft. And he said to them, yeah, but it rings true, doesn't it?
Right.
And so that's all out there, you know, in contrast to that op-ed today.
And that's when he, you know, suggested, according to these reports, just use the dossier. Just throw it in there, too, because, you know, when you put it all together into the soup, it'll ring true, as you talk about. And here's a headline back from August of 2018 from John Brennan in the New York Times, no longer CIA director at the time, but the title, President Trump's claims of no collusion are hogwash. Now, this is the other thing that they seem to be leaving out now, Shannon. You know, they're talking about Russia. They're talking about whether or not they knew Russia was trying to interfere, blah, 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 in many cases. But what they're leaving out is that they argued time and again that Trump was in collusion with this foreign entity, an enemy country, in order to influence this election. And that part, they're just kind of pretending never existed at this point.
Yeah, and that's a completely, as you said, different lane. I mean, that's a different conversation.
Totally.
They keep also referencing what we got out of the bipartisan Senate Intel Committee report signed off on by then acting chairman Marco Rubio. He's talked about this now as Secretary of State. They talk about that report, but remember what that report said also. Now Secretary Rubio, then Senator, when he released that report, he said, we can say without hesitation the committee found absolutely no evidence that then candidate Donald Trump or his campaign colluded with the Russian government to meddle in the 2016 election. That was in 2020. And they, in that same report, Rubio went on to say, we did find some really sketchy behavior by the FBI and their reliance on the Steele dossier. So if they want to cite to that Senate report, folks should know there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, just one last thing here. They chose not to give a defensive briefing to candidate Trump at the time. Now, if they had, some of this would have, you know, he would have rebutted this. He would have said, no, what? You know, that's not what's happening. Thanks very much for bringing this to my attention. But they didn't want to provide, it appears, the opportunity for him to rebut any of this because they wanted to keep sort of, you know, hanging ornaments on this Christmas tree that they were trying to build.
Yeah, and that investigation, the assessment was building, it was going on. And we've also found out while they were doing that, they were not only not telling him about certain things, they were leaving out information that had come to them, including a close confidant of Putin who had come to them and said that he has made clear he has no preference in this election. And so information was left out, information didn't get to people, and it left an opportunity lost for people to maybe rebut some of those things.
Yeah, well, we will see what comes out. More to come. Thank you so much, Shannon. Great to see you. Shannon Bream.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.